Hello and welcome to this recording of our seminar on how to plan and optimize your website user journey. So just a quick intro to myself. So I'm Sean, Growth Director here at WebBox. Please find me on LinkedIn. Feel free to connect. If there's anything you want to discuss that we talked about in this seminar or anything, web projects, PPC projects, more than happy to have that discussion with you. So yeah, please reach out and get in touch. So let's get started. So through this seminar, what we're going to be looking at is what is the user journey, what is a user journey map, why the user journey map is important, how to plan your user journey, how to optimize your user journey, and then some top tips, as well as some additional resources at the end that we can talk through. So this is the subject matters we're going to be looking at and the order that we're going to go through them today. So first off, what is the user journey? Now, lots of different people, marketing organizations, agencies will refer to two different things here. So you've got customer journey or user journey. And the reason that I'm highlighting this is quite often that these terms will be used interchangeably with each other. Whereas at WebBox, we like to separate them into kind of two separate options. So the customer journey really is from the awareness of an issue or a problem that someone needs to solve. That could be as simple as they need a new pair of trousers or some new clothes, all the way up to using specific services or products. As soon as they become aware of that problem or that challenge they need to overcome, it's then they do their research, they go and find the products or the services that they want from the organizations they want, they do their research and then they make that decision. We're showing the IDA funnel here, which is something that lots of marketers are used to used to come across in terms of awareness, interest, desire and action. So the customer journey is from that realization all the way through to the purchase and beyond of that service. Whereas for the user journey, what we're talking about is specifically the experience that user has on your website. So it's not necessarily right from that beginning awareness of the problem or whatever they have. It's once they've come to the website, gone through your content, looked at your products, looked at your services, and then eventually converted. As I say, it begins at that discovery, goes right through to the end. And it could be an inquiry, it could be a purchase, it could be that someone has dropped off. So all these things are really important when you're looking at it in the scope and the perspective of a user journey. So analogy time. So if anyone knows me or gets to know me, I love to use analogies to explain things and relate them to other things, especially when it comes to things like digital marketing and websites and PPC campaigns. So quite often your website will be referred to as your business's shop window, obviously the online shop window. So you may have physical presence, you may not, and this is the way for users to be able to find you online and look at what you do. So we've got a shop front here. This is the equivalent of somebody loading up your website. So when you discover that you need a service, you need a product, you know which shops you need to go to, you go and find that shop, or you might be wandering down the high street to find a shop. It needs to be clear when someone loads that website or sees that shop for the first time, what that shop is, what that shop does. They'll be able to see things through the shop window, and the same with the website. It should be instantly clear what that person needs to do when they land on that website. Within shops as well, you have signage. So signage will show you which way the different departments are, where the certain products are, where the toilets are, where the lifts are, where you go to pay. All these things should be really clear within a shop itself. Same thing on a website. So where you're using navigation, where you're using headings and directing people around certain content, or around certain different areas of the website, that should be super clear as well through the user journey. With shops as well, you also have staff and employees. So if you have a problem, or you can't find a product that you're looking for, or find a service that you're looking for, or even if you found it and you need some additional information, so can it work in a slightly different way for you, you would then go to find that staff, find that member of staff, the employee, to ask those questions too. So this is the same on a website, where you might have easy access to a contact form. You might have a live chat bot, you might have something where people can interact with you. It could be an FAQ, as simple as that, on the website, for people to understand more about your service or products. And then finally, what we'll call the conversion piece. So obviously within a shop, this will be the tills, the cash desk. You take your product, you make the payment. Whereas on a website, this could be anything from making an inquiry, making a purchase. It could be signing up to a newsletter. It could be using a live chat bot. So anything where they're interacting with you directly and converting into what we call a lead. Now, the reason that we've talked about these different analogies is because as they do in shops and in physical spaces. All these things, the shop front, the signage, the staff and the employees, and the purchase process are all constantly refined. So it's exactly the same on a website. That's essentially the user journey in the physical world, and we want to look at the user journey in the digital world and how people go from that initial entry to the website through to their exit. And just some quick examples here of different user journeys. So a user journey as well isn't always just somebody coming in at a home page and leaving at a purchase or a contact page. It can all be slightly different. So first off, we have here, someone comes to your website, they find your home page, they may look at a service or product page. They then go to the About page to find out more about the company, and then they come to the Contact page to hopefully submit a contact form. They may even drop off at that point, and that's something that you would want to look at within your user journey. Somebody also may be searching for, have a query about a product or service. They may be searching using Google to help them find that. And by this process, they've come into your website via a blog page, because maybe you've got a blog post that answers that particular question. So here you've gone into the blog page, they see that you've got expertise in this area, they go to the About page to find out more about you as a business, and then hopefully they go to the Contact page and get in touch. And then lastly, we're big proponents here at WebBox of landing pages. They are really key pages that you should have on your website. So these aren't necessarily pages that are on your main navigation of your website, but they are pages that are hyper specific. So it could be a specific service or product, it could be an offer, it could be an event that you've got on, a webinar, a white paper, anything that you want to advertise and have out there that people can basically find and get hyper relevant information on, create a landing page for it. So in this case, again, somebody may have looked for a certain question through a search engine. It may be through an online newsletter or something that you sent out, but they've come to that landing page and then they've either gone to a contact page to make that conversion, or similarly on a landing page typically you'll have a contact form, so they may have just completed that on that page. So just some different examples of what user journeys can look like. Now, so that's the user journey. So then what is a user journey map? So the user journey map is what we use to track all of the interactions and the complex behaviors of our users across our website. So this can be anything as we've discussed just now. So navigation, contact forms, newsletter forms, view more, additional information. You may have tabbed areas that someone's interacting with and looking at. So any interaction point that they go through when using your website and interact with your business. It's a visual representation of your customer's journey. So as we'll show later, we kind of plot this out so we can see how users are using our services and our website. And doing this process, it will benefit all of your team. So first off, it will benefit your marketing team, because they will be able to see what kind of information people are looking for, where maybe pain points are, and so you can act on that to improve those elements of your offering and of your website. It will help your design team, because they can make improve designs as you understand what your users are looking for or may not be looking for. So you can improve design on that sense, and from a sales team point of view as well. So again, if you know that people are looking for specific information on products, or they value certain things over others, then you can use that in the sales process as well, to help sell more and get more engagement and more conversions. So why is the user journey map important? So it's about, again, understanding the complex behaviors and interactions that your users have with your business. It's about empathizing with your customers as well. So when you do this process, you can put yourself in your user's shoes. You can run through these user journeys yourself and see how it actually is. So we've worked with people in the past, or business owners and marketeers, that will design either their website, their marketing, and their content around what they think their customer wants, or who they think their customer is. But by doing this process and using data to actually gather information about your user personas and how they're actually interacting with your content, it allows you to put yourself in their shoes and see what they actually want, and help kind of improve that for them. And again, like most marketing tools, it's about continuous improvement. So, we don't just plonk a website out there and just leave it forever. We want to constantly be updating that, changing content, changing how people interact with it, and making it as good as possible. Analogy time again. So we've got another analogy. So we mentioned continuous improvement there. So I've got a Google Ads logo here just to represent paid advertising, PPC as general. If you're watching this and you've either put out your own ad campaigns or you've been involved in them in the past, I'm sure you won't have just put those live and just left them forever. The whole point with PPC and paid ads, as it is with any marketing tool, like I say, is about putting those ads out there, seeing how people interact with them, see how many clicks you get, test it from different geographical locations or different channels, see what's working, see what isn't working, and continually update that and evolve it so that you're getting the most out of it. It's exactly the same with your website, exactly the same with your user journey. It's about that continual improvement and always updating. And the other importance of user journey maps is action. Now, it's so important, I've put it here 3 times. So obviously you can go through this process, you can create your user journey maps, understand your client profiles, but ultimately it's the action out of the back of that which is going to reap the benefits for you as an organization, as a business. So all of this, and we'll go into this in a bit more detail, is about creating these user journey maps, testing, iterating, and making sure that you go through and action what you're actually seeing through the data. So how do we plan out a user journey? Now, this comes in 4 steps. So step number 1, we define the users and their motivations. So you want to build up a detailed picture of your customers, and you can do this through demographic data, such as kind of like geolocation, age, sex, as well as psychographic data. So what are their values, what are their goals, what are their aims, what are their challenges they face, and these can be easier or harder to gain. So things like Google Analytics will give you things like geographical data, a bit much more demographic data. Whereas the psychographic data, it may be that you need to do user surveys, understand your audience, do workshops. You can put surveys on your website to ask people questions. If you've got a mailing list of customers, you can send out surveys to them and just understand who they are. And then, often people will build up an ICP, an ideal customer profile, and that can be multiple different personas that you create that are your ideal customers. You want to define their aims. So as we mentioned there in terms of the psychographic data, who are these people that are using your business or service, and what is it they're trying to do? So as a third point here, not all users are the same. Everybody will have a slightly different aim. So some people might be coming to use to purchase your product or service. Some people might have an issue that they're trying to resolve. Some people might just want to learn more about your topics and subject and see you as that kind of expert. So everyone will have different aims and opinions, and make sure you consider those through all of your users. Step number 2 is defining an end goal. So this starts off as, what do you want to achieve from this? So as a business or an organization, what is the goal for you going through this process? Is it to increase the number of leads you get? Is it to increase engagement? Is it to make sure that the purchasing process is as efficient as possible? So just have a think about it and think about what you want to actually achieve as a business from here. Think about long-term goals and short-term goals. So are there some quick wins that you might be able to get? And in terms of long-term, what is the overall strategy? And think about challenges that you might face here as well. So it could be internal resource, it could be pushback from certain areas, it could be getting the whole team involved, it could be gathering that data initially. So there's lots of different things that you need to consider before actually starting this process. And then ultimately, what is your end goal? So, again, is it to increase leads? Is it to improve the performance and engagement and time on the website? So what is the overall end goal of that as well? And another analogy time. So this time we've got a picture of me, I wish, in the gym. So I've used this as an analogy that, if anybody has ever set out, to go to the gym, maybe to lose weight, to gain muscle, to gain weight, they may have trained for a marathon, a half marathon, anything that you've trained towards or trained for. If you set a goal for that, then it's ultimately easier to keep yourself accountable, keep the process moving, and measure if it's actually getting towards that goal. So, if you go to the gym and you lift weights, then if you want to build muscle or lose weight, then if you have a target weight for that, and you measure yourself every week, you can see I'm getting closer to it or I'm not getting closer to it. Similarly, if you're running or if you're studying or anything like that, it's about having that end goal. You're less likely to give up on it, and it's much easier to see, is this working or is this not? So it's exactly the same with your user journey, with the updates that you're making. Is this having a positive impact and getting us towards the goals that we are striving towards? Step number 3 is identify your touch points. So you need to research the touch points across your whole website that your customers are currently using. And this initially can just be write them all down. So it doesn't need to be for the specific personas and users that are using your website, but it can be everything. So it could be your main navigation, footer navigation, sidebar links in the text, contact forms, newsletter forms, chatbots, live links, anything that a user interacts with. You want to map those out and write them down so that you know exactly which touch points are being used. This will help you understand motives of your users as well. So once you've mapped these out, then you can start assigning these to your different personas and seeing the kind of user journeys that they are taking. And again, it helps you understand their motives. If you look at all the touch points, and that can even be page views as well. So if a lot of people are looking at your product pages, but they're not looking at your maybe your blog or informational pages, then clearly the focus and the aim and the motive of your users is to go and view your products. They're not necessarily as interested in the other content. So that is aligning that. Using data and gathering tools on your website is key for this as well. So we mentioned Google Analytics and GA4 earlier, so that's going to be a great one in terms of page views and page time and engagement. Another tool you can use for this is Hotjar, and there's another which is very similar called Mouseflow. So these both do very similar things, which is they record sessions of users when they come to your website. So you can go down to the level of literally watching one person's session. You'll see their mouse moving around the screen, see what they're clicking on, see what they don't click on, see the pages that they go through. And then as more and more people come to the website and it records more and more sessions, it will then build up heat maps. So you can see, if I've got a call to action, if I've got a contact form, if I've got certain content on a page, are people just scrolling past that? Are they actually hovering on it but not clicking on it? And that kind of data will help you make better decisions in terms of what you update on your website. It's not just done by feeling, like let's make that blue instead of red, let's move it to the left. You can see that people aren't using it, and you can trial things to try and make that better and ensure people do interact with it. And step number 4 is probably the one you've all been waiting for. This is to sketch your journey out. So using all the information you have, you've got your customer profiles, you've got your touch points, you've got their motives and their aims, then you want to start mapping this out into the different user journeys. There's no necessarily right or wrong way to start this process. So you may have seen pictures of agencies and marketeers where they've just got sticky notes all over the wall. So you could go that way and connect them in a different way, or you could start with your user personas and think about the types of journeys that they will take. And map those out yourself through the different touch points. And we actually have a template that you can use. So if you're interested in use that template, please reach out to me or to WebBox directly, and we can send you that template just to get you started and get the ball rolling for you. Now we've got a user journey map example. So it's all great giving you those steps, but I just wanted to show an example of this in action. This is just an example that we've completely made up. It's not based on a specific a client or person that we know, and it is relevant to an e-commerce business, although it could very easily be swapped to a service-based business as well. So step 1, bit of text here, but I'll go through it with you just so that it's clear. So step 1 is our user persona. So here we've got a persona, the context, and the method. So our persona is Jane. She's a busy professional in her early 30s, juggling work and home life. She's shopping online for some new clothes in between other tasks, and Jane wants to quickly and easily find what she's looking for and make a purchase. Now, that's our persona. Obviously, you can go into as much or little detail as you want with these, but this is the persona that we've created. The context here is that Jane is in a hurry. She's trying to shop during a busy schedule, and she needs to get the job done quickly and efficiently. And her method is she's browsing the website on her phone. So again, it's really important to think the different devices people are using and the different kind of methods that they're interacting with your website as well. So step 2, we're defining our goals. So first off, our goal is to ensure that a user can easily complete a purchase. And we want to understand any blockers in that process. And our ultimate end goal then is to increase conversion. So by fixing any blockers or any issues that we come across, we're hopefully going to increase conversions on the website. Now, step 3, so this is identifying the touch points. So we've got 8 touch points here, and again, this can get as kind of detailed or as you want it to, and we'll just run through these from start to finish. And what we've done is identify these different touch points that Jane may have taken through the website, as well as attributing an emotion to it. So it's really important to know how that touch point is affecting the user journey as well, as you'll see in the next step. So touch point 1, Jane loads the website in her mobile browser window. Emotion is neutral. She doesn't feel happy or sad. It looks different than on a laptop, so she looks for the women's clothing section and can't find it, so she feels a little confused. She clicks on the menu and the women's clothing link is there, so she feels less confused but a little bit frustrated. She uses the product and price filters to find the clothes that she needs, and the page quickly reloads to show her the correct range, so she feels happy, great, she's got what she wants. She sees a product she likes, clicks on it, and the key product information is all presented on the product page, so she feels excited, great, she's found the product she needs, it's got all the information that she wants on there. She looks to add that product to her basket, but she can't find the link, so she feels frustrated. She selects the size and colour of the product, and then an add to basket link appears. She clicks the link and the item is then added to the basket. She feels relieved, and then Jane clicks on checkout, the checkout link, enters her details and makes that purchase. So she has her needs, she feels her needs are met and she feels satisfied. Now, the reason I say about the detail level is that last point there, you could probably break that down into 5, 6, 7, 8 points on its own, because obviously checkout process, you enter your details, you put your card details in, X, Y, Z. So there's lots to think about in that element as well. But for the sake of this example, we've kept it relatively straightforward. Then for step 4, about sketching out that journey. So we've got our 8 touch points here. We're looking at the positive experience, the neutral experience, and the negative experience, so that we can see where things are working well and where things maybe need to be improved. And we can see through the first 5 points, Jane loaded the website, got slightly frustrated when she couldn't find the link to the women's clothing area. She then did find it, found the product she wanted, found the actual product she wanted. She was really happy. Then she couldn't add it to a basket, so she drops right down into that 6th point, and then selects the size and colour. It returns it back, goes to checkout. Yeah, we're all happy we've created it. Now, overall, obviously, through this whole process, through this whole user journey here, it is ultimately, a more positive experience than negative. But we can see from point 6, if we can iron that out, then it is overall a positive experience, and there's no frustration for the user at all. So, for that, in this example, it might be that you show an add to basket link on the page, but it doesn't allow you to click it, and it suggests to the user, please select the size and color. And then once they've done that, then they can click add to basket. Just removes that frustration. So that's the kind of thing that we're looking at through the user journey as well. So we've got our user journey. We know how to create a user journey. We know what it is. So how do we optimize that user journey? So step 1 is to lead the way. So this is where your user journey goes from hypothetical into a practical process and practical practice. So you try it yourself, like I say, you want to empathize with your users, put yourself in their shoes and try out these user journeys. Put yourself in that headspace. It might be for the example that we've just had there because, again, Jane was trying to make a purchase quickly. You might set yourself a 2, 3, 4 minute time limit and see how quickly you can get through that process. Then you want to do this as well for every persona and every kind of user journey that you come up with for those personas, and just test them out, see how they feel, see if they're working, where are the errors, where are the touch points that aren't quite working, and how you can improve those. And then you analyze those results. So review all the results that you've gathered. Again, after drawing out the emotions, is it a negative experience there? Is it a positive experience? What's working? What isn't working? How easy it to complete those tasks and those user journeys through the website? And then how can you perfect it? So this is where we move into iteration and perfection. So we talked about the Google Ads earlier in terms of making sure that you're constantly updating and learning from data. So through this process, you're going to identify different areas that need alteration. In our case, it was the add to basket link. So you're going to look at that, and if you update that and you go through the user journey again, then you can move that point, and we've got a much happier user journey. And that's where testing comes in. So testing is key. So anything that you update, you need to go through that user journey again and make sure that it is now a better experience, make sure it's a better experience. Make sure that that experience has improved, because that's ultimately our goal here. And anytime you make a change, you want to make sure you test it, go through that process, and continually rinse and repeat. And then introduce user testing is also a great option. So this may have been done as an internal process. You may be doing this as a marketing team or as a wider team within the business. But if you can bring in actual users, third parties to do these user journeys and do these tests, then that's a great way of getting more honest feedback as well, because it could even be people that don't know your business or organization. So it's just another great way of getting some qualitative data. And you'll benefit from all changes. So whether they're small or large, you're going to benefit, because the whole point of this is that we're going to continually make those 1% improvements through the user journey and improve it for all of our ideal customers. So then finally, just to end with some top tips. So begin top level is where we start here. So like I say, the detail can get really minutiae on this. So it's really important to not overwhelm yourself straight away. Begin top level, have a look at the kind of user journeys that typically you think users would take and you want users to take, and then analyze those. And as you find maybe more complex areas or areas that have issues, you can then break those down into further steps. So begin top level and don't overwhelm yourself to start the process. Avoid pre-existing biases. So this is one where you may have one person or one team in the organization looking at this as a process, and they may have pre-existing biases because they know the business, they know the website, they know the service offering, they know what they're looking for. So one way to avoid this could be to get a wider buy-in from more of the team. So it could be the sales team and the director team, and lots of other people within your organization. And that's also where that kind of user testing and third-party piece comes in as well, because they won't have necessarily those pre-existing biases, especially if they don't know your business or organization. It's really important to try and avoid that. And when you're looking at these user journeys and analysing them, it's really important to think about the experience and the communication here. So a lot of the points and the touch points that we'll look at will be based on kind of the user experience. So, how is this working? How does this load? How quickly does this load? How do they fill out this form? That's all part of their experience. But also the communication is really important as well. One thing specifically that I always think about is when someone fills out an inquiry form, it may say on the page, "Thank you for your inquiry," but a great way to just bolster that is to send an email to that person as well and say, "Thank you, we've got your inquiry. We'll follow up in X amount of time or days, whatever it is your business or organisation sets." But think about those communication pieces. Think about how you're guiding people through that those touch points and those steps as well. Very important step. So just to summarize, for our user journey process, we want to create your user personas. You want to research all of those touch points across the site that they would use within their user journeys. Sketch these into a user journey map. So for each persona, which user journey would they take? Try out the user journeys yourself. Put yourself in their shoes. Analyze those results. Where are the pain points in this process? What can be improved? What can we change? Implement the improvements to your website, and then update that user journey and rinse and repeat. And just keep that process going and keep those updates and improvements going. Now, we're just going to talk quickly about a couple of additional resources that we have. So there's the template that you can download based on the user journey. So if you're interested in that, then feel free to reach out and we can provide that for you. We also have a documents page on our website where there are a few useful documents that you might want to use. We've got a website brief template that has lots of questions in that typically an agency would want to see, as well as guides for things like GA4 and other areas around website improvements as well. So please feel free to check those out. We also offer a free website or PPC digital audit. Our team will do this manually. It's not a sort of automated process. So we will take a look at your website or PPC campaigns, have a look at what you're doing right, have a look at maybe what you're not doing so well, and we'll either send a video across with the report on that, or present that to you as a slide deck and make some recommendations and suggestions to you. So if you're interested in that, please feel free to go to the URL that is on the page, or you can go to our website, and there is a call to action to claim your free digital audit as well, and we'll be in touch to sort that out. Questions, if you have any questions, please feel free to get in touch with us, and we will answer any. Happy to have a conversation with you. And last but not least, thanks for listening. I've been Sean from WebBox, talking about how to plan and optimize your website user journey. Thank you.